Captain Elena Harris sat quietly in the command chair of the starship Voyager, her eyes fixed on the glowing screen before her. The blackness of space stretched endlessly beyond the thick windows of the bridge. It was silent, except for the soft hum of the ship's engines and the steady beeping of the instruments. They had been traveling for months, farther from Earth than any human had ever gone before. The mission was clear: find new life, new worlds, and bring back knowledge that could help humanity grow. The Voyager had just arrived at the edge of the Elithrian system, a group of planets unlike any other humans had seen. The Elithrians were a mysterious alien race. Their technology was different, their culture unknown. Most surprising of all was a strange signal the Voyager's sensors had detected. It was not like any normal communication. Instead, it was a pattern of emotions and feelings, sent through the air like music that touched the heart. Elena felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. First contact was always a delicate moment. What would these aliens think of humans? Would they welcome them, or see them as a threat? Her thoughts were interrupted by the ship's science officer, Lieutenant Marcus Shaw. "Captain, we have a visual," Marcus said, pointing to the screen. The image showed a large, shining structure floating above one of the planets. It looked like a crystal city, bright and alive with color. Strange creatures moved slowly through the towers, tall, slender beings with smooth skin that seemed to shimmer in the light. "They are Elithrians," Marcus said quietly. Elena nodded. "Open a channel. Let's try to speak to them." The bridge fell silent as the communication system activated. A soft glow filled the room as the Elithrian leader appeared on the screen. The alien's name was Kyle. His eyes were large and kind, full of curiosity. He smiled gently. "Welcome, humans," Kyle said in perfect English, thanks to advanced translation technology. "We have waited for you." Elena felt a strange warmth in her chest. Kyle's voice was calm and sincere, and the feelings from his message were unlike anything she had ever experienced. "We come in peace," Elena replied. "We want to learn from you and share knowledge." Kyle nodded. "We too seek understanding. Our people have lived in this system for many cycles. We have learned much, but emotions are still a mystery to us. We feel them, but do not fully understand." Elena smiled. "Humans are very emotional. Sometimes that is our greatest strength, and sometimes our greatest weakness." Kale's eyes lit up with interest. "Perhaps you can teach us." The Elithrians invited Elena and her crew to visit their planet. The Voyager descended slowly, passing through soft clouds of purple and blue. The air outside was fresh and filled with a strange energy that made the crew feel calm and alert. When the ship landed near the Crystal City, Elena was the first to step onto the planet's surface. The ground was smooth and cool under her boots, glowing faintly beneath her feet. The Elithrians greeted them with open arms, their faces showing gentle smiles. Kale took Elena's hand in his, a simple gesture that made her feel connected in a way words could not express. "Welcome to Elithria," he said softly. "Here, we share thoughts and feelings as easily as breathing. We will show you our way." Elena looked around. The city was alive with light and sound. Everywhere she went, she could feel the gentle emotions of the Elithrians flowing around. Her joy, curiosity, hope. That night, in the heart of the Crystal City, Kale led Elena to a chamber filled with soft light. "This is the empathy hall," he explained. "Here we share memories and feelings with one another. It helps us understand and trust." Elena sat down, curious but cautious. Kale reached out and touched a small device on his wrist. Suddenly, images and emotions flooded Elena's mind. Memories of Elithria's history, the pain of past wars, the joy of peace, and the longing for connection. She gasped softly. The experience was overwhelming but beautiful. "Do you feel it?" Kale asked. "Yes," Elena whispered. "It's like I'm living your memories. It's amazing." Kale smiled. "This is why we need you, human. Your emotions are strong, real, and unpredictable. They can teach us how to feel more deeply. Over the next days, Elena and Kale spent many hours in the empathy hall. Each time, Kale would gently encourage her, saying, "Do it again, human. Love me again, human." Not in a strange way, but as a call to open her heart and share more of her feelings, to connect without fear. Elena found herself growing closer to Kyle, not just as an alien leader, but as a friend. She began to understand that the Elithrians' greatest challenge was not technology or science, but the ability to truly understand others through emotion. One evening, while watching the twin suns set over Elithria's crystal mountains, Elena spoke softly. Maybe this is what humans have always needed, to share more, to feel more, to love more, even with strangers. Kale nodded. Yes, and you have reminded us of what we have forgotten. As the first contact mission continued, Elena realized that this journey was not just about exploring space or finding new life. It was about discovering what made humans special, their ability to love, to hope, and to connect in ways that could change the universe. And for the first time, she felt sure that humans and Elithrians together could face any challenge, because love and understanding were the strongest forces of all. The sun rose over the crystal city of Elithria, casting soft light across the smooth, shimmering towers. Captain Elena Harris stood on a balcony overlooking the city, feeling a strange mix of excitement and calm. She had never seen a place like this before. The air was filled with a gentle energy, warm and full of life. Beside her, Kale, the Elithrian leader, watched the sunrise with quiet joy. "This is the best time to feel the world, human," he said softly. "The light awakens the heart." Elena smiled. She was learning so much about the Elithrians and their way of life. More than technology or power, what made them unique was their deep desire to understand feelings and connect with others. It was unlike anything she had experienced. As the morning moved forward, Kale invited Elena to join the Elithrian Council. The council was a group of elders who guided the people with wisdom and kindness. They were eager to meet the human captain. No, the grand hall surrounded by light crystals that pulsed gently, Elena faced the council. The elders' eyes were bright and full of curiosity. Kale spoke first. "This is Elena Harris, captain of the Voyager. She carries the spirit of humanity, strong, brave, and full of emotion. We ask her to teach us what it means to feel deeply, to love, and to connect." One elder, a tall Elithrian named Leora, nodded slowly. "Your emotions are strange to us, human. We sense them but cannot always understand. Please share with us." Elena took a deep breath and began to speak. She told stories of Earth, of joy and sadness, hope and fear. She talked about the human need to belong, to fight for what is right, and to forgive. Her words were simple but full of meaning. As she spoke, the Elithrians around her began to glow softly, their feelings flowing like a river in the room. The humans on the ship watching through the communication link saw the change too. Something powerful was happening. Kale then led Elena to the empathy hall once again. "Now, we will try something new," he said. "You will share your feelings with us, not just your words." Elena sat down and closed her eyes. She focused on a memory, one of her childhood, playing with her brother in a garden full of flowers. She remembered the warmth of the sun on her face, the laughter that filled the air, and the feeling of pure happiness. As she thought of these moments, she reached out with her mind, opening herself to the Elithrians. Slowly, the room filled with her emotions, clear and bright. Kale smiled. "Do it again, human. Love me again, human." At first, Elena was unsure what Kale meant, but then she realized he wanted her to share more, to be brave with her feelings, to trust them. She thought of another memory, this time a moment of loss when she said goodbye to her father before leaving for space. The sadness was deep, but so was the love that remained. Again she opened her heart, letting the Elithrians feel the bittersweet pain. The Elithrians responded with warmth and understanding. They sent back feelings of comfort and hope, wrapping Elena in an invisible embrace. For the first time, Elena felt a true connection, not just between species, but between souls. Over the next days, Elena and Kale continued to share memories and feelings. They laughed together, felt sadness and joy, hope and fear. Each time, Kale encouraged her, saying softly, "Do it again, human. Love me again, human." The phrase became a symbol of trust and friendship. It was not a command, but an invitation to open up, to share, to connect beyond words. Meanwhile, the crew of the Voyager studied the Elithrians' empathy technology. Lieutenant Marcus Shaw was fascinated. "This could change everything," he said during a meeting with Elena. "If we can learn to share emotions like they do, maybe we can solve conflicts before they start." Elena nodded. "Yes, it's more than technology. It's a way to understand each other deeply. That's the real power. But not everyone was ready to trust so easily. Some on the Voyager worried about the risks. Could sharing emotions make them vulnerable? Could the Elithrians use this connection to control humans?" Elena listened to these concerns carefully. She knew that trust must be earned, but she also believed that fear should not stop progress. One afternoon, as Elena walked through the crystal gardens with Kyle, she asked, "Do you ever worry that humans might not be ready for this? For the kind of connection you want?" Kyle looked thoughtful. "Every new step is a risk, but without risk there is no growth. We Elithrians learned this too late. You have a chance to teach us and to remind yourselves what it means to truly feel." Elena smiled. "Then let's not waste that chance." As days passed, the bond between humans and Elithrians grew stronger. They exchanged knowledge, stories, and feelings. The Voyager crew even began to practice simple empathy, exercises trying to share emotions in safe ways. One evening, as Elena prepared to rest, Kale appeared at her door. "Captain," he said softly, "would you share one more memory with me? One that shows your strength?" Elena nodded and closed her eyes. She thought of the moment when she decided to become an explorer, to leave Earth behind and reach for the stars. The fear was real, but so was the courage. She sent the memory to Kale, feeling the warmth of hope and determination. Kale reached out and gently squeezed her hand. "Thank you, human, do it again." Elena smiled back. "I will." The connection between them was more than friendship now. It was a bridge between two very different species, built on trust and love. But in the back of her mind, Elena knew the peace they had found was fragile. The universe was vast and full of dangers. Yet with every shared memory, every feeling passed between them, she believed humans and Elithrians could face those dangers together. For now, the story of Voyager and Elithria was just beginning, and the greatest discovery was the power of connection. The crystal city of Elithria basked in the soft light of its twin suns, peaceful and full of hope. Yet beneath the shimmering surface, shadows were gathering, threats from beyond the known stars, drawn by the power of Elithria's empathy technology. "Captain." Elena Harris stood on the bridge of the Voyager, her brow furrowed as she watched the starry sky. Since their arrival, the humans and Elithrians had grown close, sharing knowledge and feelings in ways neither species had imagined possible. But now, strange signals had begun to appear on the Voyager's sensors, signals that hinted at danger. Lieutenant Marcus Shaw approached, holding a tablet with a worried look. "Captain, we've detected multiple ships approaching the Elithrian system. Their signatures match those of the Krelvans." Elena's heart tightened. The Krelvans were a feared warlike species known for conquering planets and enslaving their inhabitants. Their technology was advanced, but cold and brutal. "We need to warn the Elithrians," Elena said firmly. "They must prepare." Kyle stood beside her, his usual calm replaced by concern. "The Krelvans seek to take our empathy technology for themselves. They do not understand it, but they desire its power." Elena nodded. "Then we will defend you. Together." The Elithrian council gathered quickly in the Great Hall. The elders' faces were serious as they listened to the news. Leora, the tall elder who had first welcomed Elena, spoke. We have lived in peace for many cycles, but we are not warriors. We must learn to fight, or we will lose everything. Elena stepped forward. Humans are warriors, but we fight not just with weapons. We fight to protect what we love. We will teach you to defend yourselves, and we will stand with you. The Elythrians agreed to begin training with the Voyager crew. For days, humans and Elythrians worked side by side. Soldiers learned to use Elythrian empathy devices to sense danger and coordinate silently. The Elythrians practiced human tactics, while the humans learned to understand the emotional signals their new allies used. Kyle and Elena spent many hours discussing strategy, their bond deepening through shared hope and fear. One night, as the twin moons rose, Elena and Kale stood on a high tower overlooking the city. "Do you think we can win?" Elena asked quietly. Kale looked out at the stars. "We do not fight for victory alone, human. We fight for connection, for love. That makes us strong." Suddenly, the Voyager's alarms blared. "Enemy ships are entering the system." "Marcus," shouted. Elena took command immediately. "All hands to battle stations. Elythrians, prepare your empathy shields. Humans, ready weapons." Outside, the sky filled with dark shapes, Krelvan warships cutting through space like predators. The battle began with bursts of light and energy. Elythrian shields glowed as they absorbed attacks, while human pilots maneuvered expertly to protect the city. Elena felt her heart race. She saw Kale directing defenders, his calm presence steadying everyone. But the Krelvans were relentless. They sought the heart of the city, the empathy hall, where the empathy devices were kept. Elena made a quick decision. "I will lead a team to protect the empathy hall. Others, hold the front lines." She grabbed her helmet and followed a group of Elythrian fighters through glowing corridors. The hum of energy shields mixed with the distant roar of battle. When they reached the empathy hall, Kale was already there preparing the devices. "Captain," he said, "if they capture these, all is lost." Elena nodded. "Then we won't let that happen." As the Krelvans breached the outer defenses, Elena and Kale activated the empathy network. A wave of shared feelings, courage, hope, and fierce determination spread through the defenders. The Krelvans faltered, confused by the sudden flood of emotions. They were used to fighting with cold logic, but this was different. The empathy disrupted their coordination, making them vulnerable. Elena led a counterattack, moving quickly and decisively. The Elythrian fighters followed, their spirits lifted by the connection. Hours passed like this, danger and hope intertwined. Finally, the Krelvans began to retreat, their ships falling back into the darkness of space. The battle was won, but the cost was clear. Many Elythrians were wounded, and the city had suffered damage. Elena stood beside Kale in the aftermath, looking out over the city. "We did it," she said softly. Kyle smiled, but sadness touched his eyes. "Yes, but this is only the beginning. The universe is full of threats. We must grow stronger, together." Elena reached out and took his hand. "We will face whatever comes, because we fight not just with weapons, but with love and trust." Kale squeezed her hand. "Do it again, human. Love me again, human." Elena smiled. She understood now. That phrase was a reminder, a call to keep opening hearts, to keep building connection, no matter what challenges came. Together, humans and Elythrians would continue their journey, not just as allies, but as friends united by a bond stronger than any weapon. The stars beyond held many mysteries and dangers, but also hope. And as long as they remembered the power of connection, they would never be alone. The skies above Elythria were calm once more, but the recent attack by the Krelvans left a quiet tension hanging in the air. Captain Elena Harris knew that peace might not last. The Krelvans would return, and stronger. But this time, Elythrians and humans would stand united, ready to face whatever threats came next. In the Grand Council chamber, leaders from both species gathered. The Elithrian elders and human officers sat side by side, their faces serious, yet hopeful. The glow of the crystal walls reflected their determination. "We cannot fight the Krelvans alone," Elena began. "But together we can be stronger than they expect. Our empathy and your courage combined can turn the tide." Kyle nodded beside her. "The Krelvans fear connection. Their power is in control and fear. But our power lies in trust and understanding. We must use both." The council agreed on a bold plan, one that would use empathy not only as defense but as an active weapon. Over the next days, the Voyager crew worked closely with Elithrian engineers to modify their ships and weapons. They built new empathy devices, small enough to be carried by fighters, to send feelings of unity and courage through the battlefield. These devices would confuse enemies, breaking their focus and making it harder to attack. Elena watched as Elithrian and human pilots trained together, learning to synchronize their minds as well as their ships. The air was filled with excitement and nervous energy. This was more than battle practice. It was the birth of a new way of fighting, one that honored both heart and mind. Kale often joined Elena during training sessions. He showed her how to send calm and focus through the empathy devices while she taught him human tactics and quick thinking. "Do it again, human. Love me again, human," Kyle said softly one evening, encouraging her to keep sharing her feelings. Elena understood it was his way of asking her to stay open and brave, even when the future was uncertain. The day of the next battle came quickly. Scouts reported a large Krelvan fleet approaching fast, their intent clear: total invasion. Elena stood on the bridge of the Voyager, her hands steady on the controls. Beside her, Kale's presence was a source of strength. The Elithrians had activated their empathy shields while human pilots prepared their fighters. "Remember," Elena told her crew, "we fight not just for survival, but for the chance to build a better future. Stay connected. Trust your allies. Let your hearts guide you." As the enemy fleet entered Elithria's space, the battle began again. But this time, something was different. The humans and Elithrians moved as one. Empathy devices sent waves of courage and hope into the chaos. Krelvan ships faltered as their crews felt confusion and doubt, emotions they had never faced before. Elena led a squadron of fighters, weaving through enemy fire. Her pilot, Lieutenant Marcus Shaw, laughed with joy over the comms. "This is incredible. They can't handle the emotional overload." Kyle directed Elithrian ships, sending calming feelings to keep his pilot steady under pressure. Together, the mixed fleet pushed forward, breaking the enemy lines. In the midst of the battle, Elena found herself face to face with the Krelvan commander's ship. Its weapons were powerful, but her connection with Kale and the empathy network made her fearless. She reached out through the empathy device, sending a wave of peace and understanding directly to the enemy pilot. For a moment, the battle stopped. The Krelvan pilot hesitated, confused by the unexpected feeling. Seizing the moment, Elena and Kale coordinated an attack that disabled the enemy ship without destruction. As the battle ended, the Krelvans retreated, once more defeated and disoriented. Cheers erupted on the Voyager and throughout Elithria's city. Elena smiled at Kale. "We did it. Together." Kale's eyes shone with gratitude. "Our connection is stronger than any weapon. This is the future." After the battle, leaders from both species met again. They agreed to form a new alliance, sharing technology, culture, and most importantly, trust. Elena felt a deep hope. Humans and Elithrians were no longer strangers but partners. One evening, as the twin sun set, Elena and Kale stood on the city's highest tower. "Do you think this peace will last?" Elena asked. Kale smiled softly. "Peace is not a gift. It is something we build every day with courage, with love, and with connection." Elena nodded. "Then we will keep building." The stars above twinkled, endless and full of promise. Together, humans and Elithrians looked to the future, ready to explore the universe and whatever challenges it held, hand in hand. The Elithrian skies glowed softly beneath the twin suns, casting long shadows over the crystal city. Peace had returned, but it was a peace born from courage, trust, and the power of connection. Captain Elena Harris stood beside Cale on the balcony of the tallest tower, looking out over the world they had fought to protect. The past weeks had been filled with hard work, repairing the city, rebuilding relationships, and learning from one another. The Elythrians were grateful to the humans, and the humans had found a new home among the stars. But more than the buildings or the technology, it was the bond between the two species that brought Elena hope. "We have come far," Cale said, softly. "But the universe is wide. There are still many unknowns." Elena smiled. "Yes, but now we face them together." Inside the city, preparations were underway for a celebration, a festival of unity to honor the new alliance between humans and Elythrians. Music and laughter filled the streets, and both species shared stories of bravery, kindness, and hope. Elena walked through the crowd, marveling at the joy around her. She saw Elythrian children playing with human children, their laughter blending, like a beautiful song. She saw artists from both cultures creating murals that told the story of their friendship. At the heart of the celebration was the Empathy Hall. Its walls shimmered with light, a symbol of understanding and connection. Kyle invited Elena to the hall for a special ceremony. As they entered, a quiet hush fell over the crowd. Cale spoke clearly, his voice filled with meaning. "Today we honor the bond that saved our worlds. It was not weapons or strength alone, but love, trust, and the courage to share our hearts." He turned to Elena. "You showed us what it means to love again and again, human. For that we are grateful." Elena felt a warmth spread through her. She remembered the phrase Cale often said to her in their moments of connection. "Do it again, human. Love me again, human." It was more than words. It was a promise to keep opening their hearts, no matter the challenges. Stepping forward, Elena addressed the crowd. "We have learned that connection is the strongest force in the universe. It brings light in the darkest times and hope when all seems lost. Let this bond guide us as we explore new worlds and face new challenges." The crowd erupted in applause, voices united in celebration. As the festival continued, Elena and Cale found a quiet moment away from the crowd. "Do you ever wonder what comes next?" Elena asked, looking up at the stars. Cale nodded. "The future is a mystery, but now we face it not as separate species but as one, together." Elena reached out and took Cale's hand. Together, days turned into weeks, and the alliance between humans and Elythrians grew stronger. The Voyager became a symbol of hope and exploration, traveling alongside Elythrian ships to distant star systems. They shared their knowledge and technology, spreading the message that love and understanding were the true paths to peace. Elena often thought back to her first days on Elythria, the nervous excitement, the first shared memories, and the phrase that had become a guide. "Do it again, human. Love me again, human." It was a call to courage and openness, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, connection was what made them truly alive. One evening, as the twin suns set once more, Elena and Kyle stood together on the balcony, watching the sky. "We have much to do," Elena said. "But with this bond, I believe we can change the universe." Cale smiled. "Yes, for love is the light that guides us all." And with hearts open and united, humans and Elythrians stepped forward into a new era, ready to explore, to learn, and to love again and again.